Thanks for listening to our podcast, unMetered. As a member-owned, not-for-profit electric cooperative, our focus is on providing affordable, reliable, safe electricity and outstanding member service. One way that we're doing that is by providing more avenues of communication to you, our member. Through the podcast, we hope that you will be able to find some helpful hints, tips, and things to help you conserve energy, as well as some informational pieces that will help you understand what it means to be a member. Welcome to another episode of unMetered. Extremely excited to have everyone here.
Everybody. Hey, let me jump in. I got to interrupt your intro because this is not just unMetered. This is the award-winning unMetered.
We are an award-winning.
We're an award-winning podcast.
You know, I don't know if people realize this or not. I'm going to switch around here just because it's more convenient to talk to you here.
That's right.
But yeah, no, we actually won an award for the podcast at TECA's annual meeting.
Yep.
We were really excited about that. We don't have our trophy in here because it's actually in the trophy case at the front office.
Imagine what it looks like, though.
It's nice.
See that?
I had to think for a second because it's clear, and so like you can kind of like see through it, so it's really kind of transparent, kind of the way we are here on this show. So
that was so good.
You like that?
That was so good.
I've been practicing. But speaking of things that are so good, we're actually talking about SharingChange today.
That's right.
And SharingChange is a fantastic program, foundation that Middle Tennessee Electric sponsors and kind of does a lot of the work on. In fact, we have Jay Sanders here. You may have noticed him from our intro. Oftentimes, we call him the mannequin because of that.
He sits so still.
He does sit so still.
I try.
You do a good job. You do a good job.
But the thing is, he may sit still on the podcast. He's running and gunning 24/7. We were just talking about his weekend plans. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't even know if his wife's going to see him this weekend because of all the things that are going on.
Probably not. You are truly, nothing to 90 real quick.
Yep.
And that's a good thing.
Hey.
That's all the time. No, that's a good thing. Hey, before we get into talking to Jay, first we got to talk outages.
Of course.
The weather is up and down and it's all over the place, but with storms and stuff that can roll in pretty quick and pop up. Make sure if you have an outage, give us a call, 877-777-9111, or report it through your app or report it on the web portal. But just let us know because, the faster that we know, faster we can get out there and restore power. And then, of course, we ask for patience.
Right.
If you report it, give us a little time to get out there.
Well, and also it's not just storms because, of course, this time of year, storms are starting to slow down. But what you do find also is you're going to find animals. You're going to find tree limbs that as their leaves are coming off, they're getting brittle. A strong wind might knock them down. So
that's right.
So there's a lot of variables in there.
Yeah.
But if you experience an outage, one of the easiest things to do is you report it. Also, take a look outside and see, are your neighbors also out? Because then that could also help determine whether or not that is a local issue to you. And you can leave that in the comments. If you reply through the MyMTMC, there's actually a comment section down there. Which
is really cool. It's a really cool new feature because if you hear a loud bang, if you see an animal that actually is getting in the lines, it's pretty cool. That way our guys that are heading out there are, they're more prepared for what they're going to deal with once they get there.
And speaking of MyMTMC, sign up for that.
Yep.
There's a mobile app. There's a web portal, both of which are fantastic. You can pay your bill. You can check your usage. You can report an outage. You can also sign up for SharingChange.
Wow, that was so good.
We've been practicing.
This is why we win awards.
Yes, it is. So, Jay, right now, we were off last week for Thanksgiving, which was fantastic. It
was a great break.
We hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving.
Did you?
But the week.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did.
Good,
I had a great Thanksgiving.
Fantastic. Well, the week before, I was able to sit down and I had the interviews that me and you had done. During the summer, we did some interviews and did some recording on some testimonies from some of our SharingChange recipients, right? But they're not the only ones who received SharingChange funds. How many different foundations, roughly, has received funds through SharingChange?
Since 2003, there's been approximately 580 different organizations throughout our Forest-Service territory that have received funding from SharingChange.
How much?
There's been over $9 million that has been donated back to those organizations.
That's a lot of millions.
That's member donations, right?
Right. That is the members. They'll actually round up their bill, and so those funds that the member would round up, let's say in Rutherford County, those funds actually stay in Rutherford County. And so that is one neat aspect of our charitable foundation, is that if you're a member in Rutherford County, you can rest assured that those funds stay in your county. They would go for things like Nourish Food Bank, which was the Smyrna and Laverne Food Bank, and now it's the Rutherford County Food Bank.
Right.
So now we talk about Roundup, and we've talked about that. Adam and I have talked about that, at length. How easy it is. So what it does. I mean, it's literally is what $6 a year on average, thereabouts.
That's right, about 50 cents a month.
So someone can just do that. I mean, it evens out their bill, which my wife loves. Just puts zeros on the bill, makes it simple.
It makes it very easy.
But there's other ways to give. I mean, they can do SharingChange Plus, but we have. I don't know that it's necessarily new, but we have a way that people who aren't members can give. Talk to us a little bit about that and what the one-time or recurring giving, if you're not a member, looks like.
Right. And so if you're not a member, let's say that maybe you live in the city of Murfreesboro, or maybe you live off of our system, or maybe you live on our system and maybe you just choose to give one time, and maybe you're rounding up your bill the rest of the 12 months. You can actually just give one time through PayPal. There's an option there to do that. You can call Middle Tennessee Electric and give one time. That way you can send a check. We've had organizations, I'm talking about corporations, either inside the state or outside the state, actually contribute funds to SharingChange.
Now, when those companies do that, I mean, they just, oftentimes we'll have companies that are headquartered outside the state, but they have an office in Williamson County and Wilson County. When they donate, they're just like, hey, we think you guys are great. And we just received a couple of donations recently, didn't we?
Right. Yeah, it's some close to the year end donations from corporations, and you're exactly right. Maybe their headquarters are in Wisconsin, but they'll have a local office in Smyrna, Tennessee, and so they know they hear the story of SharingChange from that local office, and they know that the funds are staying locally, and they're going to help out the members in that particular county that really need the help, and so that's what the funds are going for.
Now, obviously, there's we're the donations are running through PayPal. So I mean, again, like I said, if you go to our website sharingchange.org, you'll be able to access both the signing up for the SharingChange and SharingChange Plus. Plus, you'll have access to hit the Donate Now button, which is where it'll take you to PayPal. So that way, no one thinks it's going the wrong places. We always want to be aware of that. But Jay, tell me a little bit about, is there a recent story about someone who's received a grant that's helped some of the local members that you'd like to share?
Well, I had an organization, it's called SCANS, and they actually gave us a story the other day, and it was really touching. And so SCANS, what that organization is it is ran by local sheriff's departments, and it is on a volunteer basis. They'll actually go into homes where they know senior citizens live that maybe they can't get out and get their own groceries. They're just not mobile anymore. They can't make it to church anymore, so they've lost touch with some of those folks that they did know before. And they're normally elderly folks. And so SCANS, they came in, told us some stories, and it's just really touching. And just a few of them, particularly those in Wilson County, but we have one in Rutherford County also. But the one in Wilson County, they went into two different homes, and one elderly lady, she was there by herself. Her husband had passed away quite a few years ago, and she did not have anything at all except for 1 gallon of milk in the refrigerator. And so they came in, they brought her food, and now they visit her on a weekly basis, which is great. Another one, they had an older man, and he had some animals, and all he had money for was to feed the animals. And so he just didn't have money for himself to eat, and so they were able to bring in food for him also. But that's what that organization does.
Wow.
And so SharingChange will actually help that organization through funding every year.
Now, just kind of walk us through the process of SCAN, for instance. Fantastic organization. I agree with you. They apply for a grant, but it's not you, and it's not us, obviously, and it's not people that are at Middle Tennessee Electric that say, yeah, we want to give $1 million of $9 million to SCAN. I mean, there's some stipulations.
Which that's not the case. I mean, there is a restriction on how much an organization can get a year. I mean, it's what, 5,000?
Right now, the limit the board has set is $5,000. Yes, that board is made up of a group of volunteers. There are 2 from Williamson County, 2 from Rutherford County, 2 from Wilson County, and 1 from Cannon County.
So they're members. They're like, hey, this is important to me. I want to make a difference with my cooperative, member-owned, not-for-profit.
Yep.
I want to do something, and so they just volunteer their time to come out and review those grant applications.
Yes, these are members. They're folks that previously in their community they've had large impacts in some form or fashion. They've been involved with nonprofits in the past.
That's awesome.
Now, is there a way that say, for instance, as a member, I've signed up for SharingChange. I've signed up for SharingChange Plus, but I want to do more. Is there a way to be involved more than just giving money? Is there any type of way that members can be involved with SharingChange or the organizations in which they support that we can give them? Say, hey, you can go here and see the organizations that we've got.
Well, for instance, Special Kids. So Special Kids is here in Rutherford County, and they have a run every year. And that run, the money goes straight back to them.
Right.
I know there's plenty of folks here at Middle Tennessee Electric employees that participate in that run. That's just one way to give back.
It's not this employee, I'll tell you right now.
He said run, and I don't know what he said after that.
I did the Borough Dash, and it was more like the Borough Saunter. It was just kind of...
It was the Borough Shuffle,
the Borough Shuffle. So it sounds like it's, like I said, there's a lot of organizations that are out there that if you're looking to do more than just donate money, you can actually get involved.
Right.
And we can give you some assistance on finding those organizations, because we support not just we support organizations that help members,
right,
but we also support things that help members in ways that you might not expect. For instance, we did the Mount Juliet Animal Rescue Shelter that we talked to the other day. You guys have mentioned. We
did the Habitat build.
You did the Habitat build.
Yeah. Habitat for Humanity, that's a great one. We support normally, if the application comes in and it's approved, then the board would support Habitat for Humanity in Wilson County and Rutherford County and Williamson County. And so those organizations are great to get involved in. And Middle Tennessee Electric employees have actually gone to each one of those Habitat for Humanity organizations and participated in something this past year.
And I guess we've even had people that I know you guys have mentioned. There's an organization that takes veterans on fishing trips from this area.
Project Healing Waters.
Right.
They're great.
I mean, so there's a wide variety of ways that you can get involved that doesn't involve just working with SharingChange. So, I mean, there's so many different ways. The easiest, of course, the easiest good thing you can do is by signing up. Yeah. The second easiest thing to do is to sign up for SharingChange Plus, and then third, I would say, get involved with those organizations.
And I think that's important too. We actually every month in the Tennessee Magazine we recap the grants that have gone out. And we highlight, or spotlight, I should say, one of the organizations that got a grant that month. And my 16-year-old she's doing some things for school, and she's looking for volunteer opportunities. If you need a list, man, what better way to do it? Or check out sharingchange.org and see all the lists that are in your community.
Well, in these organizations, you have to remember, they're nonprofit organizations.
Right.
And so they need all the help that they can get most of the time. I mean, the folks that work there normally work long hours, and they're asking for help pretty consistently.
That's huge. One thing I think we need to tag on, if you're on our social media pages right now, you're probably seeing some SharingChange ads. Share those, man. This is a way, and Jay, I mean, tag on, please, by all means. this is a way that our members can get involved in helping their community more than monetarily or more than volunteer. I mean, you hit the share button, right?
Oh yeah, it's just as easy as sharing that, so that those other folks they can learn about the program. I hear all too often that, hey, we know y'all had the Roundup program, but we didn't know it changed over.
Right.
And so now it's been over a year, and we're still hearing that pretty consistently. So please. Share it on social media.
Yeah.
Share it by word of mouth. We've got sign-up cards. If you'd like some of those, all you have to do is contact us.
Well, and to the point that you were mentioning, we did have a program. It's been since 2003. This foundation
Right.
has been founded, and that's where that 550, 580, excuse me. It's risen.
It's
it keeps
crazy.
rising
I love
every
it.
month.
I love it.
$9 million. This is something that yes, it did